Well, hey. I'm TU Knapp, and
And I
this,
am Dr. Michael Gross.
we are so happy that you've joined us. What is he doing?
We are the team.
We're really happy that you're joining us on Sunday night. It's 7 o'clock at Pacific Coast time.
And guess what I'm holding? The most fabulous book you want to read, Healing the Holes in Your Soul by this beautiful soul. It's a great book about survival, coming out of as I say, the ashes, reinventing yourself, recreating yourself, and making a great contribution to humanity. Read it.
Well,
And she's got lots to share.
Thank you, Michael. You keep hiding behind my book. I'm going to hide behind yours.
Okay.
This is a highly recommended book. I started with this one. I've read it a couple times now, and I absolutely love it. If you're feeling like there's something missing in your life, start with this book. It will answer questions that you have absolutely no idea you have even thought about yet. Okay, it's a beautiful book written by an amazing man, and if it wasn't for this book and this man, that book wouldn't even exist. So we have a wonderful message for you today. And Michael, why don't you give us the topic? Because I've already
You are your thoughts.
Yeah, I happen to do that sometimes. This is actually part 2 of Michael's series on You Are Your Thoughts. So
Absolutely.
Without any further ado, I'm going to keep this mindful of everybody's time. And all the numbers and stuff will repeat later on, but they will also be in the contact information in the chat. So you can get in touch with either one of us anytime you like. And Michael and I are also on YouTube, and Michael's got a fabulous website, which we'll also put in below.
But
you're welcome. It's my thoughts, man. It's a beautiful sunny day up here in the Pacific Northwest. I think my thoughts might be on the blue sky above. But here's our formal introduction. This is the only part, okay, that we continue to script. The rest is whatever comes out of Michael's visions, Michael's message. He channels everything through the true source. So I'm thrilled that he's here sharing this with me and all of you. So here we go. Dr. Michael Gross is an author, professional keynote speaker, transformational coach, and an entrepreneur. For more than 3 decades, he's been on a spiritual path as an intuitive, a healer, a spiritual counselor, and a fabulous teacher. Through the guidance of spirit, Michael has assisted others in their personal quest for self-empowerment, helping them to create the lives that they have long sought and to bring forth their intuitive abilities. He currently teaches classes in spirituality, self-empowerment, Reiki, and other modalities. In concert with God, the True Source, he has also achieved great success and miraculous healings. I'm proof positive that his healings are phenomenal, and I won't go into detail, but if you ever want to get to know more about it, you can message one of us. Like I said, he remains humble, knowing the work that he does all comes from God, the True Source. Michael lives in Lakewood, Washington, and has just launched his nonprofit. And I'm going to go ahead and let Michael talk about his nonprofit briefly before we go into the topic for the day.
And the name of the nonprofit is the International Institute of Self-Empowerment. It's a 501c3. As you know, that's a nonprofit. We're having a lot of fun with it. And Spirit had told me to set up a nonprofit, and I said, okay. You know what the reason is? I never questioned. I've learned for a long time, don't argue, because you lose. So I set it up, didn't know what the purpose was, began to coach this beautiful soul, and realized about her book about abuse and what women and children and men go through, mostly women, then children, and some men. And I realized that it's very important to help those souls that are going through physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual abuse. So with that in mind, I made her director of the program and assisting abused women, children, and men. And that's how it all came about with her assistance. And it's going to be phenomenal. We're going through fundraising. Want to make a donation, 501c3. Please feel free to. And again, to remind you all that if a woman comes to us and says, she wants to get away from abuse, she usually have 2 children, no money, no place to stay. So we would immediately put her up in a hotel, then get her an apartment, do counseling for herself and her children, help her to be financially independent, get a vocation, help her get a job, and then help her move forward. Not only that, but it will change her children's lives and her life and many other lives around them. So that's a little bit about our 501c3, the International Institute of Self Empowerment. Yes.
Okay.
So
Thank you.
You're welcome. This is part two. Are you your thoughts? And just remember how when you were growing up, what your thoughts were, and how these thoughts became your reality. In other words, you hoped you got this for your birthday or Christmas or whatever it was, and you got it. Or you had certain feelings amongst the other feelings and emotions as you were growing up. You wanted to find friends, and perhaps you wanted to do sports or whatever, but that was one phase of your life. Now we're going to phase two of your life. And this phase of you are your thoughts, and these are the teenage years. And I was just talking to a parent, and she was worried about her child, and they were going through the stage of having acne. And I went, oh, yeah, I remember those days. I didn't have them very badly, but when I was going out on a date, I'd get one on the tip of my nose. And I thought I was Cyrano de Bergerac with a huge nose, the size of Mount Rainier, and all the emanations you go through, and the embarrassment, and how you felt about it. You felt so embarrassed. And, as you began to do that, you wish that it would go away. Then you felt you were ugly. You felt all these things. And you begin to behave that way. Wow, there's something interesting. I began to behave that way, meaning you are your thoughts. So understanding that you are your thoughts, your behavior goes through those years. Then you go through the years where people are jealous of you, where you want to excel in sports, and you want to do very well, and then you get bullied and judged, and all these feelings of insecurity you go through. But if you understand all those feelings of insecurity you've gone through, it's a reason. And the reason is about self-empowerment, self-worth and self-love. Because really, if you understood, and it's hard as a teenager to understand, that's just a phase of your life, you began to see yourself ugly, not looking good, wanting to shrink, wanting to hide, so on and so forth. All the things we go through. But what you have to realize is that you are created or had created those things in your life.
Even the zit on your nose?
Yeah, well, that's biological. Well, it could be biological hormones, glands, could be a whole bunch of different things. Yeah, nobody really wants to do that, but you just think how embarrassed you are. And I don't know why you would get it at the tip of your nose. You get it on your chin somewhere or on your cheek or whatever. And some people, they have zits. They get a lot of them all over through their body. And then we were told not to pick them because we would have pock marks on our face, which people did. I don't believe I did. If I did, I don't see any pock marks.
I think you're okay.
Okay.
I think you're okay.
Okay. So it's amazing. And then I would look, and on my chin here, I have a mole, and then here I have a mole, and the other side. And God bless my mother. Oh, look at these moles, Michael. Those are beauty marks. Wow, you're so lucky. So mothers are so great. Oh, well, it's a beauty mark. I feel better about that. And then when you get older, of course, you don't look at it as much. But when you think about it, our thoughts were formed a lot by our parents. And, mothers in general are the most encouraging, loving things that ever could happen. And I remember I was walking home from school, and a bird pooped on my head. And oh my God, I was crying and everything. My mother said, oh, no, it's good luck. It's good luck. So these are the thoughts that you have. And well, that's not so bad. It's good luck. I'll take a shower or a bath.
You
whatever.
have a great mom.
Yeah,
Your mom was great.
So she would turn lemons into honey all the time.
Sweet.
And pretty much, that just was a great way to live life. And as I shared with you before, she would always say, Michael, you can do anything. And I've shared that. And I carried that with all my life. And that helped me tackle things that were way above my head. Didn't know what the heck I was going to do. And I tackle it. And you can do anything. So I'd learn how to do it or find someone to mentor me. Always go back to those early years, you are your thoughts. I would like all of you, when you're listening to this, to think about some of the thoughts that your mother or father or maybe relatives or grandparents said. Just the positive things, not the negative things. You know, as I talked before, the first words we usually learn is no, 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 don't do this, no, don't do that, don't, no, and don't.
Yeah.
And so we are programmed inadvertently to be negative instead of saying, well, that's not a good idea because you could hurt yourself or whatever. So I would suggest not to do it. We don't take time, or at least my parents didn't take time. And I look around the world today with younger parents. They're so busy trying to make a living, so wrapped up in their business that they have to seek escapes. So what is escape? Let's go on a vacation. Then you go on a vacation, and then the father goes here, the mother looks after the kids, is stuck with the kids while the father's playing around. Well, that's not 100%. I say playing around, maybe playing golf, getting together with his buddies, or the other women to get together with their children. But we have to look at a balance in our life and our thoughts. And although, it's nice for our mothers to congregate with other mothers and other children. And as I look back at it, I mean, what did she have for herself to be alone or to rejuvenate herself? All she did was dedicate herself to her children, which is a wonderful thing, which a lot of parents are no longer doing because here's the iPad, go watch TV, goodbye, whatever. And they can't be bothered. Now, that's not true of all parents. Some of the parents, and I don't know what percentage it is, but we really miss that touch. You don't realize the touch coming home, smell chocolate chip cookies baking, and the chocolate melted and was still hot and soft till they got crispy, or maybe it was an oatmeal cookie.
Or a loaf of bread. My mom baked bread, and that was such a wonderful aroma. When you walk in the door and you smell the bread, and it's just out of the oven and it's warm and the butter just melts on it. Oof, oof.
I remember she would make 2 or 3 breads, and we would scramble, eat like half a loaf, and of course it was still hot. We'd have a lump in our stomach afterwards, but it was
Don't
so
ruin your dinner.
good. It was so good.
Yeah.
And then we had to have liver. Remember that? But actually, I learned to like liver and onions and mushrooms. She made it really, really well.
My mom made great liver too. I didn't mind eating the liver, especially if it came with a wonderful slice of that bread.
Yeah.
I mean, my mom made it well.
So now they say it's organ food. You shouldn't have it. It's not that healthy, the liver. And you know what? Maybe today it isn't, and it's because of all the hormones and all the crud we give all the animals. But those days, we ate liver at least once a week. And it's like nobody got sick, nobody died, and didn't get any diseases or whatever. And it just shows you how things change, because now if you are your thoughts and you think you're eating liver because liver is, going to be, pollute your body or cause harm, you'll get sick. Now, I'm not an advocate of saying you should eat liver. Some people don't like the texture. The thing is that we learn to love liver. And of course, when we were growing up, sometimes we had chicken livers, which we loved. And the most important thing was, you didn't want to eat it? Don't. That's it. Goodbye. Go to your room. Forget it. You got nothing else. You didn't get dessert. You didn't get anything. Today, oh, I'm so sorry. I'll make you something you want. And it's like, oh, gosh.
My mom used to say,
What?
You don't eat it now, you'll see it on your plate for breakfast.
There you go.
You don't want it now, you're going to eat it tomorrow. You're not getting anything else until you eat this.
So the problem that we have today, because you are your thoughts, is the way we are treating our children. And we're teaching them to be spoiled, selective, teaching them to be, let's say, contrary. You send them to your room today, they're on the computer, on their iPhone, or whatever they are. So it's really ridiculous. But I was just talking to an educator, and I'm talking to this person because I don't want to mention their name. And they said the students, this is so fascinating, that, have been on Zoom. They come into class, this is at college, freshman year. They're running around like kids in high school, the first time, which is okay. She said they actually have, girls have dolls.
They have what?
Dolls. Barbie
Oh,
dolls.
dolls.
Dolls. And they also, boys, have He-Man and they're running around. And she said if the lecture is 2 or 3 hours long, after an hour they don't want to listen anymore, just walk out. Just walk out. Or if they don't want to do the homework, they just refuse, didn't feel like doing it. Wow. So if we understand you are your thoughts, what are these beautiful young people going to grow up to be? They have a challenge. I don't want to handle it. I'm going home. Goodbye. I mean, that's a role of possibility. And I'm not saying that's happening. But it just shows you are your thoughts, because we are a society that is no longer, for the most part, holding people responsibility or responsible for their actions. And if we teach them to be responsible for their actions, we make them responsible for their actions, then a lot of things will change. I realize that's an educational phase. Things eventually will be changing, but how much damage will be done? Because you see, you can never run away from anything because it follows you. It will follow you all over. It's like you have a rope around you, and it's just wherever you go, it's going to come and bite you. And that's one of the, when I talk about you are your thoughts, is that there's no escape. You can put something off a long time, but eventually it's going to come back and bite you to heal and release it. Because you see, everything that happens in your life you have created for one specific reason, and that is to empower you, to give you strength to get through life. You know, when I started this path, my mother was very supportive before then, but she passed away before I went on this path officially. But her soul came. And how do we know that? All my students, teaching 4 and 5 nights a week, different students, we all smelled the same perfume. And I talked about this till I realized, oh my gosh, that's Evening in Paris, what I used to buy my mother. So she was always there supporting me. It was phenomenal. It was great. And I know even though she's on the other side, she's there, still there supporting me. And that's a wonderful, joyous feeling. And what we need to understand is that I realized later on when I chose my path, the true source said that it's a lonely path and that you can only depend upon the true source. That doesn't mean I didn't have friends in the past that were supportive, but they were really minimal. And I realized the things that I went through, and you are going through, is to make you strong to face the other challenges in your life. So challenges are just something to overcome, to figure out how to overcome it. You know, if it's raining and you go outside and it's pouring, are you going to go outside in your clothing and get soaked, get a cold, or do you put on rain gear? I mean, that's the creative part. Or if it's, let's say, icy outside, do you want to go out and slip and fall on your keister? Do you want to wait, or do you wear certain kind of shoes or boots or whatever that help you combat the slickness of the roads or the streets or wherever you are? Really important for you to understand that. And part of you are your thoughts, is that everything you create in your life, you have agreed to have created. But here's the secret. Once you solve it, which can be in seconds or years, it's over and done with. And you have knowledge and wisdom nobody else has. Because each experience that you go through may be identical or similar, but not in its entirety. There's always a little something that's different. And that's what you need to realize. So as you're going through the formative years, and now you're 18 and 20, 22, going through college, you're easily impressed. And then you begin to apply all your knowledge in class to the human race and people around you, and you begin to realize, oh, that's just book theory. Not all of it's true. Absolutely, you're right. Not all of it's true. Best experience you get is life. You know that expression, life 101. And that's what you're going through. What time is it? How much time do I have to you?
We've got about 10 minutes.
All right, good.
That's kind of like the School of Hard Knocks, right?
Exactly.
That's like you step, you know, in this phase, you're stepping into the School of Hard Knocks because you're, you know, at this age, a lot of people are moving away from home.
Mm-hmm.
And trying to determine, where do I go? What do I do? What kind of college? What am I studying? A lot of big decisions.
Absolutely.
Right?
So, my parents, decided to move to the West Coast. We were living upstate New York, Albany, New York. And then I realized, well, I'm alone. Can't
You
go.
didn't go?
Nope. I was already through with college.
Oh.
So, I got a job and didn't know what I was going to do, but I realized that I had to fend for myself. Couldn't depend upon my parents. I suppose if I wanted to fly to California and depend upon them, but then thought never occurred to me. It taught us that I have to learn to be self-sufficient, swallow some pride, and do whatever I needed to do to survive. I know a lot of you are watching this and think, yep, that's what I went through. And some of you didn't go through that much, but that's okay. The point is, the gift that your parents gave you was by teaching you how to survive. So, what does that mean? It means to get up and do whatever you need to do till something better comes along the way. That's what it means. Get in the mood that only you can take care of yourself. And then as you get older, sometimes roles reverse where parents used to take care of you, you take care of them. And we can all tell wonderful, beautiful, loving stories of taking care of our parents. But the most important thing is where your thinking is going. And I want to build on this over the next few sessions because we're going to have a grand finale, how to change your life. Isn't that a way to
Nice.
get you to watch all these?
I love it. I'll be back. I want to hear what comes next.
And that's so important for all of you. So guard your thoughts. Guarding your thoughts means you have a choice. You can be in the sun or you can be in the rain. Just a metaphor. Be happy and joyous in the sun, be sad and depressed in the rain. Realizing in your thoughts, everything happens for a reason. This is so empowering. Everything happens for a reason. And when you go through that, you have to ask yourself, what am I to learn from this? Because every experience is a learning. Like going to XYZ's ice cream store and liking their ice cream, or not, or going somewhere else. Everything happens for a purpose, in which you are the sole actress, an actor, and player, screen director, and writer. Yeah. You ever think about that? You're writing everything that's happened at this time. Boy, that's a lot of responsibility. Why would I do that? My answer is, you're right. Why would you do that? One basic reason: to learn and grow, to empower yourself. Because life is filled with, waves. And the tide comes in, the tide comes out. Life also teaches you survival skills. And that's so important. And the survival skills I learned, and you learned from your childhood up into your teens and college, not only book knowledge, because that is very important as well, but also theory. And also critical thinking, which I don't know if they teach in college anymore. Critical thinking means, how do I solve this problem? So whether you go to YouTube, you talk to someone, or you just imagine how you're supposed to do it, makes no difference. As long as you arrive at the ending, which is finishing the project, completing it. Too many times people play the victim. It's your job, it's your job, it's not my job.
And then they blame.
Yeah.
They blame you if it didn't work.
Exactly. And if it does work, they'll take all the credit, even though they only spent 5 minutes out of 3 years with you. Isn't it interesting? And then you walk away frustrated. Why didn't I get credit?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes we got to speak up for ourselves. I think we're running a little closer to time now, aren't we?
Yeah. Wrap it up, Michael.
Wrap it up. All right. So, everyone, I want to thank you for joining us. Tune in for part 3, starring TU and Dr. Michael. Brought to you by YouTube.
The books.
And this is what's going to change your life, these books.
Okay. We have a couple of things we want to share with you. Thank you, number one. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, number one.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Michael, for the words of wisdom today. Michael does a call-in every Tuesday night. And would you like to share a little bit about that?
Yes, it's called Words of Wisdom. And the words of wisdom, what you do is you call in from 6:30 p.m. Pacific time to 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Sometimes we go a little over. And you ask any questions about spirituality, and hopefully I can answer the questions. And then I leave a 10-minute message, very empowering message. In order to access that, you need to dial.
You dial 202-926-1059, and it asks for an access code.
Is
Michael.
125-446 pound.
And one more time on the number, and everything will be in the comments as well, in the chat. 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125-446 pound.
Okay, now the recordings that he does at the end of the Tuesday night call are also available literally right after the calling. And they can be accessed at 434-300-4170. Access code, Michael.
125-446 pound. And this is really critical, in my opinion, anyway, because I'm prejudiced. I did it. And you're driving your car, you're stuck in traffic, you're frustrated, you didn't maybe had an argument with someone. These are all motivational. And they go from number 3 to 233.
33 right now, but every week there's another one coming.
So all you need to do is punch in a number between 3 and 233, and it always will be the right one you need to listen to.
Right, just listen to your soul. It'll tell you which one to punch in. And if you don't know, start with number 92. Right?
I love that one.
I love number 92.
Yeah,
and the
it's
other
great.
one I really, really like is number 19.
All
It's
right.
another one of my favorites. Okay, so that one more time. The recording number is 434-300-4170, and the access code
Code is 125-446 pound.
Okay. Michael, would you also like to tell them what you do the second Saturday of every month?
Well, you think I should?
I think you should.
You want to share that with us? We'll share it.
Well, really, do you think we should?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay.
Something that's really dear to my heart, and that is we have a mass consciousness healing every second Saturday of the month from 9:55 a.m. Pacific time to 11:01 Pacific time. Really importante, as we say, to be on it, because we have to make a difference. And you are the solution. You who are listening to this are making a difference. And we just can't go on this way in our planet. We have to heal the planet. We have to heal ourselves first. Get it out there. Heal ourselves first, and then heal our thoughts second, and then work on healing the planet, inviting others to enjoy it. So don't think you're insignificant, because you are. What can one person do? Well, look at the life you created. That tells you what one person can do.
True.
So in that in mind, please join us.
And
Second Saturday of every month.
I'm sorry I interrupted
That's
you.
okay.
Okay, the phone number for that, it's a same number as the Tuesday night call-in. And one more time, that's 202-926-1059.
And the access code is 125-446 pound. That was a good one. Oh,
Grab the computer, it's falling off the counter. The other thing is, if you dial in late and it's quiet, join us in our meditation, okay? Because we're already there. And Michael speaks for a few minutes in the beginning, and then it goes into silence, and then he comes back on at the end. So definitely join us, because we would love to have your energy join with ours to help save the planet, right?
absolutely. And if you knew what I could see that's going to happen in the possible future, we really need you to support us.
No
Support
kidding.
the planet. Support the inhabitants.
Absolutely.
With the mass consciousness healing of love.
Invite your friends. There's one more thing.
Yes.
Every Sunday night. Every Sunday night we do this at 7 o'clock Pacific Daylight Time. And all these once they're aired, they stay on Facebook, and they're also available on our channels on YouTube. So what we'd like to do is invite you to go over, hit the subscribe button to our YouTube channels. You can go to Michael Gross, or you can go to TuneApp, and we have them both there. But I highly encourage everybody to definitely just subscribe to Michael's, because his 10-minute call-ins are recorded, and we're also starting to put them on his YouTube channel. And we have a lot of other goodies that are coming down the pipeline for both YouTube channels. So definitely make sure that you connect with us there, because we would love your support, because the more people we get watching these videos, the more Michael's message gets out, and our planet really, truly needs all the wisdom and the unconditional love that Michael brings forth in these meetings and whatnot that we do. So on that note, Michael.
Well, I thank you very much. I appreciate all of you. And just remember, every Sunday, 7 p.m., we're here. And this is our advertising, which is healing the holes in your soul.
And also, 4th of July is coming. Yes. We will have something Sunday night, or the night before the 4th. So definitely swing by. And if you miss it, go to the YouTube channel or watch the recording, because this is a great place to start. It's the Spiritual Primer. Excellent book. I love chapter 3, but definitely read it from cover to cover and then go back through it again. And this is the most amazing man.
Thank you. And this book is incredible. It's about survival. It's motivational. It needs to be read. Thank you, everyone. And remember our motto: you are unlimited. Namaste.
Have a wonderful week.
Have a great week, everyone.